Garden update, 24th of July 2025. The little side garden's got a little bit of signs of life there. I think that might be one of the snapdragons next to the alyssum. Also a weed there, but we'll ignore that. More weed seeds here. But what's nice is the lupin that I thought I'd killed actually has signs of life, so it might actually come good. Which would be nice because it should fill in that area, that little back bit, quite nicely. The gazania, I think they are, the ones that we're not supposed to have in Victoria, are doing quite nicely. So starting to get a bit of colour back into it and signs of some life, which is good. Most of the alyssum is looking a bit sort of bedraggled at the moment, but that's just, I would imagine it's winter foliage, as it were. There's still some flowers on some of them. Anyway, we'll go around the front. So we've had, let's let the car go past. We've had a couple of fairly stormy days. Another car. Quite a bit of rain, very windy. Shuffle that in a bit more. Okay. Today we've had a bit of frost. It's not a very hard frost, just a light frost, but enough to give the garden a bit of chill. A bit of rubbish in there. Have to clean that out at some point. And over we go. There's more frost. Excuse me. So the garden bed. Some of the things are dying off a bit, but other things are actually coming through. And I put a few more plants out recently. That's a purchase from local big box, as it were, as is that. So there's a new plants into there, and then I've got some seedlings that I planted out as well. I would be fairly sure that these ones are ones that I planted as seeds. You can see over here I've got a few around there. So these are all the ones I've grown from seed and planted out. So it's early morning, and obviously people are off to work and doing school runs. I've already dropped the kids at school, so I'm done. Although I do have some extras work to go off to a bit later. And the rest of the front garden is looking a bit cold and barren, but it is, as I said, winter. So we'll go around to the back now. Right, so the veggie patch. Quite happy that I've got that there. I suspect it's going to grow quite big, but for the moment I'm quite enjoying having a nice splash of colour there, and it should help with the pollinators and such. A couple of lettuce, and what I was assuming was a leek, but looking at these leaves, I'm actually thinking that's possibly either garlic or maybe an onion, but given the way it's in there, I'm going to guess it's garlic. It could still be leek. I'm not sure. It's just normally I expect the leeks to have, if we go over here, this sort of very flat leaf, whereas this is kind of like a tubular leaf. So we'll see how it goes. The grapevine's actually got some grapes on it. It's occurred to me, of course, which other people might have already noticed, that having the grapevine up against the fence is probably what causes it to have that mouldy, mildewy sort of look on it, because I suspect they need a lot of airflow. So I may try and sort of train it out a bit. Otherwise, it still provides a lot of cover and foliage and things, so I might just leave it. It's not super critical. I'm going to say bok choy has gone to seed, which is fine. It's still sort of giving a nice bit of colour to the garden. The leeks, because I'm quite sure that these are all leeks, the ones that I've spread out and such, are looking quite good, which is nice. Obviously, go up a little bit. The either sugar snap or snow peas, I'm not entirely sure which ones they are, but my youngest keeps picking those even when they're very young, so that I don't get any of them at the moment. But there are actually a couple that I noticed on there which they possibly don't know about. I might keep those secret, so I might get to have some. Looks like some more bok choy there, which is nice, and get some of those. I'm not entirely sure what I've planted here, the purple stalks. I'm guessing kohlrabi, because I did have some of those, so that's probably what those are. The you call them chard. We call them silver beet, I think it was. Oh, memory slipping. But anyway, these are the multicoloured ones because I like the idea of having the rainbow stalks. So we'll see how they go. Again, more leeks because they're just kind of scattered everywhere, it would seem. Celery. That's the one that sort of grew and created its own seeds. Which is quite good. As I said, we had some strong winds recently. A couple of onions there. I'm not sure how they're going to go over winter, but I'll leave them and we shall see. Duck back along this way. These I think are poppies, which is why I've left them in, because there are a few of them throughout the garden. Worst case scenario, I'll just pull them out at a later point. But if they are poppies, I figured it's not too bad to have some flowers in there while I'm not growing anything in particular over winter. My alyssum in the corner is still there. I want to say Aquilegia with it, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, here we have some, I think, spring bulb growth, or it could be garlic, except other places around the garden things I've got some garlic that has been growing for a while, so yeah, it might be, I'm not sure. We'll see, we'll find out. This is basil that's gone over, so I've got the seeds there. I'll just let those are a bit wet, so they're not going to do too much, but I'll just let it keep growing. I'll let it sit there and I can get the seeds at another point. So I think these might be some of the garlic that I had in from a while ago. Again, there's another bok choy there. See, this I suspect is not going to last much longer before my youngest finds it and takes it. But anyway, obviously this needs a mow, but because it's been wet, it's not exactly been ideal mowing time for it. Now, I've actually given the apple tree a bit of a prune. It might not look like it because there's still a lot there. I kind of did the whole go around and try and make sure things aren't crossing over. And you might notice the strange bit of wood chocked in there. That's because those two branches are fairly close. I figured if I can train that one to sort of grow up a bit further away from it, it might actually be alright. And I don't know if it'll actually do anything, but seeing as I was just clipping them off anyway, I put some of the branches just into a pot of soil because the pot of soil was there. I had no other plan for those, so I thought I'll just stick them in there. If they want to grow on, they can. If they don't, that's fine as well. I suspect they won't because it's not exactly prepared or intentionally done for them. So we have the greenhouse, and as you can see, the dripping nature of it, because I built it, so it's not exactly neat and tidy. But anyway, that's okay. Oops. Speaking of neat and tidy, as I knock into something. Now these ones that I mostly planted out recently in that front garden that I was showing, Platycodon, you can see there are two there, but they're much too small to go out, especially with the current cold weather. And there, see, we've got silver beet. That's what it was here. That's what I thought. Chard, rainbow, and I've got Brussels sprout, which is still that same one. I should really probably pop that on. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can find a spot that's not so dripping. Audrey's still going, which is good. These are two that I potted up because these had grown large to start with. So these are ones that I've sown other similar ones out into the garden. These I think were poppies that I potted on first. They're doing okay, so they might go out at some point. Then we have the ones that I pruned / also took cuttings from the front. Now, some of those obviously have not gone so well. Some still have a bit of green, so we'll see what happens. It's not critical. In this one, that was a cutting from one of the plants that I bought and potted out, so planted into the front yard. And I've also put some kiwi seeds in here, so we'll see how they go. I'm just going to move again because I'm getting dripped on. Potted on, I'm going to guess Snapdragon because I've actually put the label from it there. And that's getting a bit wild. It probably needs to be sorted out. Anyway, and despite the fact that we're in the middle of winter, I have a strawberry. Oops, water there. So that's a pink strawberry variety. So there's all this. Yeah, the pineapple's still growing. The other one's still over there too. So anyway, I'll get out of there because I keep getting dripped on move along to here. So I picked up some more free plants recently. So I now have another strawberry. I'm going to get some mint, another mint, and I think a flat leaf parsley. The little beds here, the lettuce is all doing quite well. I've picked and also thinned this one somewhat because I figured they need a bit more room to grow. So this is what I was saying in terms of the garlic. That and the ones in there, those are garlic which should have been planted roughly the same time as the ones around in the veggie patch. So I think the other things might actually be spring bulbs of some sort. These, which you can actually see the sort of like scapes on them, I think that's actually ginger, because I did plant some ginger into one of these, and given that that's the main difference between these and the garlic, I'm wondering if that's what that is, which will be interesting because I've never grown it before, and this is just from a supermarket bunch of ginger. Still got some spinach in there, which I picked a few bits of here and there and had some with some meals. Flat leaf parsley, and again the peas trying to do all they can whilst getting frequently picked, and that's just an aloe vera which came with the house, which is nice to have there. Excuse the noise of the heater. Okay, so around here, oh yeah, I forgot to show around the side. I've moved the little volunteer fruit tree that was growing next to my second apple there. We'll see if that helps it grow. I've cut this down quite a bit, but I've sort of done the chop and drop, so that's around there, because that's the one that was up to about there. I want to say ranunculus, but I'm not entirely sure that is actually. Not the camellia, obviously, that one's not entirely sure that that's actually alive anymore. I suspect I might have killed it, but we'll see. Maybe it'll come back. But the orange flower one is quite nice there. In there, that mound has had the dahlia, the African dawn, African sunset, whatever it is. Hopefully it survives it. But this time I actually lifted that and kind of ended up spreading some of the tubers around the place, so we'll see what happens. There's also some mushrooms growing there, or toadstools, if anyone's aware of Australia's recent news headlines and things like that. And no, there's no way anyone's going to eat those, and nor should they, because I doubt those are edible for one thing, but you need to be very careful when foraging mushrooms. Anyway, the hebe, which is doing quite well actually, it's getting quite large, it's nice. Needs a lot of weeding. The lavender, which is different to the ones in front, I'm looking forward to actually that blooming. I think it's more of a pinkish lavender. This I think is seaside daisy, which is obviously sprawled and come over quite nicely. Those I think they could be daffodils or tulips or something. Actually, I'm not entirely sure. We'll find out when they grow. Obviously, will grow further. The orange tree, it's still there. It's not looking too poorly, but it's obviously taking a long time to do much. The snapdragon's looking a little bit worse for wear, but it is winter. The main pride and joy of my seed-grown apple trees is this one. It's even got the goblet shape without much work at all. I did trim some of those branches back, so that's been pruned, and that's the other one that I'm wondering if it was a bit swamped out by the volunteer fruit tree. Having said that, it did occur to me recently that my Cafe au lait dahlia was around there-ish, and I think I overwatered it, so it died, so it would have rotted back into the soil. I'm wondering if that's actually fed the apple tree. It may have done, it may not, I'm not sure. The little side area is quite a mess, but having said that, this lot of green here is actually grass that I sowed because I figured it was better to have that than the weeds and things that were going to grow in there. So it still needs a lot of work, but it's a work in progress. And then what I assume is a plum tree, I've pruned that as well, but there's a lot of crossing over. Plum trees do have a lot of crossing over anyway, so there you go. But anyway, we'll finish on the nice orange flowers. Thank you for watching, and happy gardening.